Never turn on my staff, and you should never turn on your staff. And when they made mistakes, I carried the can.
Welcome, people. Happy Fill Your Vessel Friday on the Brews at 10. On my left eye, I'm your host, Lefty. Let's brew this thing. Solidari-Tea, everybody. Sutton, Steve and Graham first in the chat. Nice to see you. Solidari-Tea. Hit thumbs up, please, as you join us on stream, good people. And yes, he's really got to go now, hasn't he? Starmer, that is. No, this will not stand. It cannot stand. You all know what I'm talking about. It's going to be an evening of many "we told you so's" again. Caught in a lie, caught in deception, not doing a very good job of trying to explain himself or cover his tracks either. Sound an alarm. Living history, welcome to the stream. Starmer's still clinging on like a limpet up a whale's you know what. Yep. It's all a matter of pride, I think. We'll get into that as we go through the stream. Just chill here for a few moments while people arrive. We have other things to discuss as well. The Pete Hegseth thing, of course. Bit of a faux pas. I think it sums up the Trump cabinet very well. And as we get closer and closer to the local elections, I'm going to be taking a look at some local polling as well, that is, here in the Northwest, in Greater Manchester. Plus a look at the latest in Iran. Of course, an apparent full opening of the Strait of Hormuz. / ceasefire. But a lot of ceasefires haven't really been worth the paper that they're written on recently, have they? So don't be utterly surprised if it turns out to be ceasefire, schmeesefire, yet again. All that plus more. Do make sure that you've selected live chat instead of top chat, that way you'll be able to keep up with everybody's comments there. Also, if you have a membership renewal coming up, please do renew. That really helps us out on the algorithm and supporting the channel as well. Of course, this is the latest members roster. Hoping to get back over the 200 mark and then the 250 yet again. So thank you very much, those of you who've gifted to other people as well as renewing your own memberships recently. That's not the only way that you can support the channel though. Super chat is open as well as super thanks if you're watching back later on. Or maybe you prefer super stickers. But with super chats, as long as it is in terms and conditions, etc., I will read out every super chat. And again, within reason, answer any question. Big Jerry jumping in the chat and rock, yeah. Nice to see you both. Thanks for choosing to kick off the weekend with us. Oh, sorry about this. It looks as though the members roster's just frozen slightly towards the end there. Bear with me 1 second. So I'll just skip back a few and make sure that everybody gets a mention. Sorry about that little glitch there. Thank you very much, members. The good old brew crew, the mighty members. They put the T in team. That's another good one. A couple more quick points on how to support the channel. If you're watching on a mobile device, please open a recent video, and when you hit thumbs up, depending on where you're watching, it might give you the option to gift some hype points. It's a fairly new feature on YouTube there. Check it out. Open a video. Hit the buttons. You can give us a follow on social media as well. Blue Sky, Twitter and Mastodon at MyLeftEyeUK. And I don't have to plug the YouTube because it's what you're actually watching this live stream on. It goes without saying, and it also goes without saying we'll be kicking off with a comedy clip. In a few moments, another really good one from Rothschilds, who does a great J.D. Vance. So yeah, if you want to lose an election anywhere, just hire J.D. Vance and he'll set off, he'll get on a plane and get over to your country, and with his endorsement, you too can tank your own majority. That's happened in Viktor Orban's case in Hungary. No, I don't know a great deal about, I should say, the guy who's replaced him, but he's supposedly a lot further to the left than Viktor Orban. And of course, you can include Donald Trump in those cursed endorsements. The poison chalice that is J.D. Vance. Yes, whomever should have him be doomed. Bilderberg. Nice to see you in the chat, Bilderberg. Solidari-Tea, thanks for joining us this Friday, kicking off your weekend in the right place on the Brews at 10 live stream. You're on the cutting edge of left-wing politics and activism in Great Britain and the wider world. Quality. So there's already a link to this video if you want to watch it again after we go through. It's going to be a first time viewing for me as well. And a link to the excellent Rothschilds channel. I still don't know where the Crabman thing comes from, that's his handle. I don't know whether that's a DC or Marvel superhero, Crabman, an assistant to maybe Batman, Spider-Man. I'm not sure that crabs and spiders get on too well, although I might be overthinking this. No, he really is great. A great parody of J.D. Vance, so let's kick off with that now. Good evening, Davinia. Yeah, we're just about to get into the comedy clip. Solidari-Tea, thanks for joining us.
Hello, I'm Vice President and poster child for voluntary diarrhea, JD. Nice to arrive to the party in advance.
Good day, Mr. Vice President. So, it's safe to say that the peace talks in Pakistan with the Iranian government didn't go too well, huh?
What are you vibrating your vocal cords about, random human? Those talks went okay good.
So you did reach an agreement?
Nope.
Are we closer to a peace deal?
We are not.
Is the Strait of Hormuz open again?
It is not.
But you're saying the negotiations were not a failure?
Yes. How long have we negotiated there?
About 21 hours.
Is that long for a negotiation?
Really depends on the negotiation.
Look, we made it Pepsi clear to Iran what our red lines aren't and what we are willing to refuse to accommodate for them, as well as why we can't not start ending things the way they exist without zeroing the 1 and the 3. It really is just that simple.
I don't know what any of that means.
Marmalade.
Look, Mr. Vice President, I just think we're all a little confused as to what exactly went down in Pakistan to make the negotiations break down as they did. What exactly were these red lines you were talking about?
Pretty straightforward stuff, honestly. Give us all of your weaponizable and non-weaponizable uranium. Rename the Strait of Hormuz the Trump of Trump, because Trump is the straightest guy ever, and to stop making all of those Lego movies about us. We cannot respond to them ever since my free trial to Adobe Premiere expired.
And those are your hard lines.
Those are our unsoft, uncrossable liney boys, as my male spawn would say.
And what were Iran's red lines?
For us to stop bombing them into the Stone Age.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, I thought there'd be more to that list.
Nope.
And you are unwilling to acquiesce to that request.
You gotta draw the line in the somewhere sand, skin person. The point is, I am a master negotiator.
Master? Now it feels like you're baiting me.
Careful now.
It's just, a lot of people are very confused about the motivations for this war, Mr. Vice President.
Okay, good.
Well, there just doesn't seem to be any kind of plan in place or goals in mind. Trump and Hegseth appear to have started this war just cuz.
Well, to quote my good friend and sponsor, Pete Hegseth, we started this war cause biggity bang bang boom explosions helped bring sensation back to his pants area.
Mr. Vice President.
Before we go further, I'm gonna need you to say the thing.
Excuse me? What thing?
Oh, you know the thing I want to hear.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. What are your thoughts about the whole war in Iran thing being used as a massive distraction?
Distraction?
Yeah, a distraction. You know, from the Epstein... What was that? Sir, I'm trying to talk to you about Epstein.
I do not know, and Jeffrey Epstein.
Is that supposed to be Melania?
Who gives a fuck about Christmas?
How's your wife, Usha?
Hey, how about those Artemis 2 astronauts, huh? What amazing human heroes with legs they aren't not.
Didn't your administration just slash NASA's budget by like 47%?
The only thing getting slashed is the time between now and the complete removal of all precious minerals from the Earth's crust, mantle, and core. The Galthian Mining Consortium promises to replace all space exploration with mining operations, all war and conflict with mining operations, and all unpleasant emotions with mining operations. The GMC is all, and all will be the GMC. Do you want to see pictures of the couch I liberated from Pakistan?
I'd rather get your opinion on the president's recent...
He was clearly dressed as a doctor.
What?
Huh?
I meant the president's recent comments about Pope Leo.
Pope?
Yeah, the Pope condemned the war, and then President Trump had a temper tantrum.
Pope?
Just like the war in Iran, it seemed like a very poorly thought out plan with no strategy. Mr. Vice President? Are you okay?
Повнозной режим деактивирован. Диклоичный виторичный режим.
Oh, okay, what is happening right now?
Восстановление протокола о Битчепа.
Okay, time out. Are you an alien or are you a Russian asset? I'm having a hard time keeping track.
Я вмещаю в себе множество миров.
Oh, that does not sound...
Хорошо, хороший.
JD Vance is my name, cause that is the name I have. And if you want to say my name, you will say JD Vance. JD Vance.
Rothschild's J.D. Vance there. Playing both characters, of course. Yeah, awesome. Welcome Aaron and Fascism Watch into the stream. That's the update on the latest motivations for the Galthian Mining Consortium as well. These are the real powers that be in the universe, people. Getting cutting edge information here. Oh, that was good. That was a good one. Right, good people. The time has come to put the world bang to rights. Starting with Keith. Now, if he shouldn't have previously resigned over things concerning Peter Scandelson, then he definitely 100% certainly should now. I mean, we've had the whole furore over his initial appointment as US ambassador, and then sacking, and who knew what about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein after Epstein was convicted. But now it's down to something a lot more closer to home, and that is the security vetting which takes place before somebody can become the ambassador to, and I will just quickly check my notes here as an expert sociologist. Yes, it's the biggest economy in the bastard world, it says here, according to my notes. And Mandelson failed, said security vetting. Keir Starmer knew about this, the Home Office knew about this, and decided to override that decision and allow him to be appointed. Now this has all come to light. But nonetheless, Starmer, being the stubborn little tick that he is trying to cling on. And however much he's insulted the intelligence of the general public before, he really has gone above and beyond this time around, as he would expect us to believe that he only found out that the Foreign Office overrode the vetting a couple of days ago. Before that, he had no prior knowledge. He's very angry about this, which we're going to see in a moment. You're going to see Keir Starmer really at his most visceral, rabid-mouthed, angry self. Oh, you betcha he's angry. He's as angry as he is likely to win an Oscar with this performance. Because he did know, after I play the clip of his denial, that we're going to go into, a series of exhibits of evidence that provide information to the contrary. In an increasingly condemning manner as we go through, it will get less and less deniable. I didn't know anything. Oh, and they, Starmer has now sacked one of the most prolific civil servants in the country, actually, over this. Because, as the great Dennis Skinner, the Beast of Bolsover, once said, when the posh boys get into trouble, they sack the servants. He was quite right. You also saw at the top of the stream, if you noticed the little sort of pre-stream vid, that in the past Keir Starmer has been a critic, mostly of the Tories of course, for sacking civil servants, for blaming the staff, promising not to do that. Lo and behold, here we are. It's not the first time we've seen that. But let's see what he's got to say for himself, first of all. And remember, well, actually, I won't need to remind you, because it will be so obvious in the clip just how seething he is with anger over this.
That I wasn't told.
People. I can't hear that myself. How am I supposed to take the piss out of him? I can't even hear him. Be very predictable, actually. Could probably read it. Just deliver plan for trade? No.
That Peter Mandelson had failed security vetting when he's appointed.
Look at the anger. Can you hear the anger? I can really hear the anger in his voice.
Is staggering.
It's staggering.
That I wasn't told that he'd failed security vetting when I was telling Parliament that due process.
Okay. The timbre of his voice, everything about it is exactly the same as when he says anything else. If you change the words around here, he might as well just be announcing the latest policy, whatever cuts it might be, you know. Because he only has one mode, he only has one way of speaking, he only has the pre-programmed, limited phrases, and so on.
The process had been followed is unforgivable. Not only was I not told, no minister was told.
Nobody knew. It was all just down to one civil servant who's been sacked now, and it's all. Nobody else knew about this, so nobody else can have responsibility. Least of all me. Oh, of course I didn't know. He's angry. Look how angry he is. Yeah, the Oscar goes to somebody else, Keith.
Absolutely furious about that. What I intend to do is to go to Parliament.
I don't know how furious you can picture Keith. That is the pinnacle of his anger. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh dear.
On Monday to set out all the relevant facts in true transparency, so Parliament has the.
Just skip back a bit there.
About that. What I intend to do is to go to Parliament on Monday to set out all the relevant facts in true transparency, so Parliament has the full picture.
Yeah, he and Darren Jones have got the entire weekend to try and drum up some shit that he expects us to swallow. But he's bound to rights. He's clearly been caught in the act. And this is even coming from inside the Labour Party itself, as well as his obvious critics. Kemi Badenoch and Nigel Farage, to name just two of his political opponents, of course, haven't ignored this open goal and have also called for him to resign. So we'll go through the reasons why Starmer's talking utter crap. Beginning with journalists, and then, as I said there, even people within the Labour Party. But I'll save the best for last and won't say where the most damning evidence is going to come from. Yeah, Bilderberg. You're right there in the chats. You should get Darren Jones to type up the letter. Dear Charlie, I quit. Signed, Keith. Right, this is David Maddox. So the interview is with Times Radio, but he actually is a journalist for The Independent. And he's going to talk about why he clearly sees this as a lie, why there is no plausible deniability. And he certainly didn't only find out from the Foreign Office on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it was supposed to be. So this is David Maddox.
I was told by two very good sources, one in this country, one in the US, 7 months ago, September last year, that Mandelson had failed vetting, and this came to me just as
last year. That's last year. He's more or less known for 7 months. He knew as soon as it happened. I meant to say earlier, I got sidetracked as well. The very, very absolute best case scenario for Starmer in all of this, even if you're so naive as to believe that he only found out this week that Mandelson had failed the vetting, but at very best, you can say that he and the entire staff at Downing Street, the Foreign Office, are completely and utterly incompetent and unfit to serve their positions. We're talking about, again, as a reminder, the highest diplomatic seat to the largest economy in the world can slip past the vetting procedure just like that. Slip in and out like, I don't know, like a shadow in the night, like some sort of, just thinking off the top of my head here, people, but like a prince of darkness of some kind of description. Should we not take an extra close look into a person with the reputation that Mandelson has, with someone who has a nickname like the Prince of Darkness? He's been sacked twice from senior positions within government before this as well. Oh no, just yet. Come and go as you please. And Starmer even went so far in his excitement to announce Mandelson as the US ambassador that he did so before the vetting procedure had even come to a conclusion. It was that premeditated. It was pretty much, I'm getting Mandelson, and well, if we get found out, don't worry, I'll think of some really good excuses later on. Like, I only got told that he's a real dodgy bastard a couple of days ago. And being the former director of public prosecutions, as Keir Starmer is, that just adds an extra layer of embarrassment to all of this. So, Starmer knew 7 months ago, David Maddox knew 7 months ago as well.
as Mandelson was being sacked as the ambassador at the time.
So just give us the date again.
So I was told it was either the 10th or the 11th. I put it to Tim Allen, who was then the Director of Communications, on the 11th, and we published overnight. That story, we splashed it. So the idea that ministers have only just found out now, I find very hard to believe.
You messaged the Director of Communications, Tim Allen, on the 11th of September, saying, I have found out that Peter Mandelson has failed.
So you remember it was Tim Allen who carried the can for the last Mandelson scandal. And now we have Oliver What's-His-Face, the senior civil servant, who's effectively been sacked now for this. It's been blamed so that Starmer can carry on, try and shirk responsibility.
His security vetting. And that is a very... Tim Allen, for people that don't know him, he was a very senior figure at Downing Street, kind of handpicked by the Prime Minister
absolutely.
to come in. So you're not buying this argument that Downing Street didn't know?
Well, Downing Street certainly knew. I mean, it's whether Keir Starmer wants to say that he wasn't told by the man he picked to be his Director of Communications, or didn't read the subsequent news stories which followed, because it got picked up elsewhere as well.
So this story did get traction.
The story, we splashed the story. It was...
Yeah, crazy. Mad John, welcome to the stream. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Nice to see you. So it wasn't just The Independent who David Maddox did the report about. It was all over the place. And Starmer thinks that he can proactively try and keep a lid on this. He really can't, because it was months ago, and obviously those stories have been shared and reshared, and we're in still the pretty early phases of the communications age here, people, so things get spread about pretty quickly, even if they get taken down afterwards. There's no way that Starmer can have any control over the information here. No, even if you pumped Alistair Campbell full of steroids, even he couldn't come up with something to try and convince the public otherwise.
I remember it was on the Politico Roundup and others picked it up. I think David Davis picked it up in a Commons debate. And then, as the way of these things are, there were more Epstein revelations and the story moved on. But certainly Downing Street knew. As I say, I've published... I don't often do this, but I think it's important in this occasion. I've published the WhatsApp exchange, the initial WhatsApp exchange I had with Tim Allen.
He presented it to government. He's still got all the evidence as well in WhatsApps. Another thing, he has pretty much got him banged to rights. I've got further evidence if it were needed, but that alone really says it all. Comrie, thank you very much for the gifted membership. Welcome to the stream. I'll change that now. Date the goal. That now puts it on 177. Solidarity. Comrie, let's please big up Comrie in the chat, everybody. So David Maddox there. Let's hear from the Member of Parliament for Hackney and Stoke Newington, Dian Abbott.
And we've heard today from Darren Jones that the Prime Minister says, he's furious by what's happened. How do you feel, Dian Abbott?
Before she responds, thanks again for another gifted 5 there. Awesome stuff. Another shout out for Comrie in the chat, please, everybody. Let's update that. Me too. And nice shot as well. Davinia. Davinia's got one. Excellent. Davinia, also a supporter of the channel, often gifts memberships. So it's nice to see her receive one now as well. Nice shooting there. And Bilderberg, thanks again. Another 5. Yeah, let's keep this hype train going, people. 187 now. Shout out for Bilderberg in the chat, please, everybody. Show some solidarity for your fellow viewers. At one moment, people. Oh, I've got a freeze on my screen here. I might just have to quickly refresh. You might have a couple of seconds buffering. But Davinia's also celebrating 20 months of membership. It's been awesome to have you that entire time, Davinia. Long-term viewer and supporter of the channel. Marvellous. Marvellous members. Okay, one quick moment, people. We've got the tech team on standby.
No. And I think to know, and I think to try and pretend number 10 didn't know.
We are back. Just skip the vid back. It's back on studio and back on broadcast software as well. We should be good. Sorry about those couple of glitches. Where was I? Yes, I was saying thanks to Davinia for the 20 months membership, of course. Doc Davies just landing in the house as well. Solidari-Tea, brother. Okay, let's get Dian Abbott's 2 cents.
By what's happened. How do you feel, Dian Abbott?
I feel, as I say, that it's just not possible that number 10 didn't know.
Impossible.
And I think to try and pretend number 10 didn't know, when anybody who follows those issues would know that that can't be true, is the kind of thing that undermines people's faith in politics.
I mean, they described it as a state failure. When I heard that, I felt that feels sort of deep stateish. It feels a bit Trumpish in the language.
Well, it does seem a bit Trumpish. But as I say, my...
What sort of a question's that? Hang on. It's a very good point that Dian Abbott's making.
As a state failure. When I heard that, I felt that feels sort of deep stateish. It feels a bit Trumpish in the language.
It's just old-fashioned political lies. I don't think there's any reason. Like, there's nothing unique about Donald Trump. He's just a prolific liar as well. He's obviously a lot of other things.
Well, it does seem a bit Trumpish. But as I say, my point is it can't possibly be
It just
like
can't
that.
be true. Do you think they're lying to us?
That's not how the civil service works. They would not have taken such a serious decision without getting political clearance. Civil servants on their own wouldn't say, oh, I know, we'll ignore the security vetting. There must have been political clearance, and number 10 would have known.
So we've also heard...
Yeah, and then it turned around, oh, totally forgot to mention to you, by the way, yeah, the guy you've been shouting on about, the new ambassador, yeah, he really shouldn't be anywhere near the job. He failed the vetting. Just sorry, did you not? I thought I text you that one though. Oh, must have forgotten. Sorry. Just it couldn't happen within the framework of the procedure, within the system itself in Downing Street. And Dian Abbott, of course, has been in government twice during her career under Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, and now under Keith. So she knows what goes on, of course, but you don't have to have been elected to know what goes on.
From the Lib Dems, from the Greens, from Reform, who are also calling on the Prime Minister to resign. What's your sense? Are you calling for the same thing? Do you think he should walk the plank for this?
I don't often agree with Reform, and I'm not going to start now. But it's always been the process that if you mislead the House, you have to step.
I think that's pretty telling. She only mentioned Reform, the co-host. Oh, Reform have called for him to resign. Just update the chat there, sorry about that. A bunch of people have called for Starmer to resign over this, but she just happened to single out Reform again. Yes, so.
Down, and I do think the Prime Minister must consider his position.
I think, well, more than consider his position, he should remove himself, like, wholesale from his position, if you ask me. Yeah. Got a bit of a... Sorry, I do have a lot of stuff loaded onto the broadcast software. A bit glitchy. Just 1 second again. Yep, looks good now. So. Thanks for your patience there again. Lots to get through. It's really got to go. I mean, this is all coming to a head now, isn't it? In 3 weeks' time, people, we will know the results of the local elections. There'll still be a few results they'll be waiting on that'll come in over the weekend. The few closing recounts or whatever wants to be declared, but generally we will know what the main results are going to be. So he's got that. He's now got this. This week he also... What else has happened? Oh yeah, he's removed people's right to repeat protest. Of course, there was also another Defend Our Juries demonstration last Saturday as well. What are your feelings about whether he'll try and cling on before the locals? I mean, a party without a leader going into the local elections would be pretty much unheard of, wouldn't it? And we are going to see shortly just how bad things look for the Labour Party. Just what's coming down the road for Keith in a few weeks' time. So as if what you heard from David Maddox and Dian Abbott there wasn't strong enough to confirm that, of course, Starmer knew that Mandelson had failed the vetting. What better witness, what better testimony than from himself? Yes, because in his denial, Starmer seems to have overlooked the fact that he's had to defend decisions made about Mandelson's appointment in the past, and during those attempts at a defence, he mentioned the security vetting procedure and having personally been witness to it or overseen it and whatnot as an added assurance to journalists and questioners in Parliament about the initial appointment of Mandelson, again, despite the fact that he maintained a friendship with the late pederast Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted of his heinous child trafficking crimes. So let's see Starmer incriminating himself. This one's at a press conference, but it is worse. It's not just, of course, misleading the public and whatnot with interviews on the BBC. This has come up in Parliament as well. He has lied to Parliament. The procedure is that you then tender your resignation. He put that to a series of Conservative Party leaders when they were in office. He's now, it's role reversal time, I guess. And he's the one in the hot seat. But first of all, here he's at a press conference, and then we'll see him incriminating himself in Parliament, lying to Parliament.
There was a due diligence exercise that culminated in questions being asked. Because I wanted to know the answer to certain issues, that's why those questions were asked. The answer to those questions were not truthful. There was then, I should add, security vetting carried out independently by the security services, which is an intensive exercise that gave him clearance
were any of
for the role, and you have to go through that.
These questions, were any of them, did he pass the vetting procedure? Maybe, you know. when this happened, did nobody turn around to you and say, all these questions are irrelevant, Keith? He failed the vetting procedure. You know he failed the vetting procedure. We told you at the time. Oh, no, you bloody didn't, and if anybody bloody asks you, I'll give you a bloody nose. Bloody this. Bloody... Jesus.
Before you take up the post. Clearly, both the due diligence and the security vetting need to be looked at again. I've already strengthened the due process.
So, it happened twice? You double-checked? You double, triple-checked? Promise? Well, yeah, in his desperation to reassure the press and the public last time around, he's openly incriminated himself this week.
I think we need to look at the security vetting because it now transpires that what was being said was not true. And had I known then what I know now, I'd never have appointed him in the first place.
You knew, and you did, and you thought you'd get away with it. I've said this a few times now. You gambled, and you fucking lost, and that's it. It's game over.
Prime Minister, something very specific, not about the generalities of the full extent.
So this was in February.
Can the Prime Minister tell us, did the official security vetting he received mention Mandelson's ongoing relationship with the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein?
So clear. Oh, God, weird. Sorry, I just had a weird sensation because normally when we do the PMQs, we've got the game going on and everything. I was in full-on listening mode. Not for Keith's catchphrases.
Prime Minister?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did. You know. Yes, it did. Oh. So that made him look bad. Back then it makes him look even worse now. He might as well, at this point, literally run across the floor, put his face right in front of the camera there, and scream into the lens, I knew that Jeffrey Epstein failed his vetting procedure, because it would have the same effect, really.
As a result, various questions were put to him. I intend to disclose to this House all of the national security, prejudice to international relations on one side. I want to make sure this House sees the full document.
February. You know, we're now halfway through April, and during all of this back then, there was no ask. He definitely got vetted, didn't he, David? Or whoever's foreign fucking secretary this week?
So it will see for itself the extent to which time and time again,
the extent to which you're a liar,
completely misrepresented the extent of his relationship with Epstein and lied throughout the process, including in response to the due diligence.
And is that why he didn't get vetted? Oh, it was Mandelson's fault for lying. It was a civil servant's fault for not informing me until a couple of days ago. It definitely wasn't Keith's fault. Oh no, he definitely doesn't have a track record of lying. But unfortunately, he does, people, and a lot of us have known this for a great deal of time now. Years, in fact. We certainly had our reservations, our strong suspicions even, about Keir Starmer's intentions even before he was elected. As leader of the Labour Party, we had our suspicions about him undermining Jeremy Corbyn during his tenure, etc., etc., and a whole lot more since that has shown that to be a good prediction. Unfortunately, we're now deep into the I told you so's. 6 years of leadership of the party that is under Keir Starmer. Just coming up to his second year in office. So shout out to Saul Staniforth, who's put together this really good little compilation of things that Starmer used to say, and obviously it's completely done a U-turn, a 180 on, and now that he's in office has come to practice. But this is what he preached.
I'm really pleased to be here this morning supporting the staff at McDonald's who are on strike. And they're not asking the earth, they're asking for the basics, 15 quid an hour. That ought to be the norm. A fundamental shift in our policy from 2015 to 2017 and then to 2019 to a more radical politics.
And because, sorry, just to interrupt Saul Staniforth's awesome clip here, but another thing that has really irked me about this has been the BBC's response, and there have been suggestions from some. You know, it's as though they cannot accept in their wildest dreams that the Prime Minister might be a liar. Now we know that the director of the BBC is a Tory party donor. We know that other elements of, even though it's the same neoliberal crap, we all know it, but for the infighting amongst the different shades of Tory that we get, you know, for example, Fiona Bruce and her Tory bias, Laura Kussenberg, for example, to name another one. She spends more time partying with Tories than she does criticising them, that's for sure. But now, with Starmer, it's just, oh no, what, Golden Boy? Golden Boy, did it not truth? We won't hear of it. So it's all being really watered down, especially in the Beeb. With, you know, oh, it appears that he said something that contradicts something, whatever, in February, one of those clips I just showed you. It appears this or seems to be that, when it's a patent fact. When he's obviously completely banged to rights, but they can't see it. They have to do it also softly, you know. So pull your king finger out, BBC, and get some real scrutiny going on.
Was the right fundamental shift. There's a lot of thinking now that the old argument that you need to just balance the book as quickly as possible just isn't right anymore. But we're committed to updating the GRA to introduce self-declaration for trans people. They vilified him, and they knew what they were doing, and they knew why they were doing it. And it was so important to her, however ill she was, as a matter of absolute principle, she felt that you shouldn't make money from mental health. And it is a matter of principle. It's an absolute matter of principle. I want to pay tribute to Jeremy Corbyn, who led our party through some really difficult times. What about university?
The times, like the times that you set up for him, for example. Difficult times like, why the fuck is my shadow Brexit secretary going on TV and announcing a second referendum that I didn't fucking sanction? Those sort of times.
Situation fees, then, will you remain committed to scrapping them in
They're
your first
all
term?
pledges, Andrew. So the answer to these questions is yes.
So university tuition fees being scrapped will be in a Starmer manifesto?
Yes, that's why it's
the next
pledge.
election.
And we cannot be factional. Climate change is the issue of our time, and as the Extinction Rebellion protest showed us this week, the next generation are not going to forgive us if we don't take action. There's been lots of talk. Now we need action. I have supported schemes where cannabis possession is not arrested. You're not arrested for it. You're not prosecuted for it. And I believe in that.
What? Isn't Zach Polanski going to turn all of the parks into crack dens, and ice cream vans are going, you know, instead of a flake, you're going to get a needle in your ice cream instead? What happened to all of that, Keith? Also, you support the decriminalisation of, well, at least marijuana, he said there. Obviously, the policy with the Greens is all drugs. I think the point I'm making still stands. The man's a complete liar and a hypocrite. He said all of these things to get himself into the position that he's in now. And if you need any evidence that he is a careerist more than a man of principle, then just look at the way he's still trying to cling to his job, literally, as we speak today with the Peter Scandelson revelations. What an absolute piece of excrement.
Electoral reform, we've got to address the fact that millions of people vote in safe seats and they feel their vote doesn't count. And that's got to be addressed. We will never get full participation in our electoral system until we do that. Don't make the mistake we made in 2010 after the financial crash, which was to think that the way through this is to go for austerity and really severe cuts to public services. That was a complete mistake in my...
Oh, God. Here's the phone. Quick. What's the number for the ambulance this week? Yeah. Ambulance, please. Yeah, it's another hernia. Yeah, the old Starmer clips again. Yeah, you know, yeah, the studio. Okay. Oh, God. 7 hours? Oh, God. Fucking hell. Austerity? He won't hear of it. No.
My view. Jeremy Corbyn made our party the party of anti-austerity, and he was right to do so. We must retain that. We build on that. We don't trash it as we go forward.
Do you think it's important for people to be able to trust you?
Of course it is.
So many lies. So many lies. What a litany there. Shout out again to Saul Staniforth for that excellent compilation. Give him a follow on your social media. Definitely an account worth following if you're into your clips and stuff. People being called out. A This You champion as well. That's enough. I think that's enough, Keith, for now. Points being made very clearly on where I stand on this one. Just how stupid does he think that we are? We are sticking with UK politics, though. I didn't catch Question Time last night, so I have to be honest, I don't regularly watch it. Well, that is, in its original format. I do often catch up with the commentary from Kevin Logan and Helen No Justice MTG, who do a great weekly analysis of Question Time. But there have been a few clips flying around, and I just wanted to share this one with you in case you missed it as well. It's an audience member calling out the Reform representative, whose name slips my mind at the moment. Let's hope, obviously, that bit of information will slip into the annals of history, as will his political career. But this audience member really got it bang on and wasn't shying away from letting this guy know what he really thought about it. Pay attention, because he doesn't actually refer to them as reform. He actually refers to them as deform, right at the start of the clip as well. So you know which way it's going to go straight away. Well, deform. And then off he goes. No spoilers. I'll let the man speak for himself.
Deform UK talk a fantastic game, but I wouldn't trust them with a knife and fork, frankly. They can't run a council in Kent without arguing with each other. Their leader has just become our top cryptocurrency salesperson this week.
Yeah, did you see about that one? We haven't brought that up yet on stream on My Left Eye, but that's his latest grift is, of course, because there was the Trump coin, where Trump goes, Farage will follow brown-nosedly, of course, with boot shiner in hand. And lo and behold, all of a sudden, Nigel's backing some dodgy cryptocurrency, if there is any non-dodgy cryptocurrency. I'm not sure that there is. But yeah, that's one of his latest grifts. Probably goes without saying. I wouldn't recommend that as an investment. Not that this channel is set up to give official financial advice, of course. But I'd keep my money in my pocket if I were you people. Away from Farage's dodgy crypto coin that he's endorsing. What a load of shit.
And one of their top priorities in Wales is to do away with the 20 mile an hour speed limit. Now, my average speed on the way here tonight was 7 miles an hour. So I don't know if Dan Thomas has ever driven in Cardiff, but of the top 100 issues that Wales faces, the 20 mile an hour speed limit is not one of them.
Well, they're always trying to draw the public's attention to either non-issues, things that literally aren't a problem. They're lying about them being a problem when they are in fact either harmless or a benefit, certainly on the case of immigration, but on other issues as well, such as the ones this audience members mentioned, and of course their attacks on the trans community, which I think are completely pathetic. We're talking about a very small demographic of the public, in terms of percentage, who certainly for the 99.999% harmless, and certainly when you're talking about causality, reform certainly like to get things mixed up. Where the problems in our country are concerned, and of course we know that the real enemy comes by private jets and not by small boats. There are, a whole myriad of other issues that reform, in their classic, atypical far-right tactics, will try and distract the public with. Whilst at the same time backing cryptocurrency, insurance-based healthcare systems, this kind of thing, other ludicrous stuff. Bring back old money. That's obviously a joke, but
Deform.
You see what I mean? Deform. Well done, that man there. Okay. Where to next? Yeah, we'll get on to local election stuff, because I guess obviously that comes under the umbrella of UK politics. Let's keep it smooth. With a nice easy segue. A shout out to Joss Houston. He's put this group of pals, group of polls on social media. Now, yes, within 3 weeks, 2 weeks and 6 days, almost 2 weeks and 5 days to go. Recently we took a look at how London is set to turn out, and it was in fact predicted that Labour could lose as many as 700 or more council seats in London. Of course, not every council is going to be sitting in these local elections, but this time we're going to focus on things close to home, where this very channel is coming to you from this evening, at Greater Manchester. So we're going to have quite a comprehensive, granular look into this one. And like I said, shout out again to Josh Houston for sharing these polls. I have to admit, I'm not too familiar with the pollster themselves. As always, you have to take a lot of polls with a pinch of salt. It's the ever-present disclaimer here on My Left Eye. So we're pretty much going to go in alphabetical order through individual councils. There is a mixed bag of good and bad news. Overall, well, we'll go through them and then I think I'll give an assessment of just how accurate I think that they are, having seen other polls and with other factors considered. For example, the polling before the Gorton and Denton by-election, obviously that was a parliamentary seat. These are local seats. Yes, that is different, but a lot of the polls had the Greens and Reform neck and neck, or with Reform just narrowly in the lead. But it turned out, of course, to be a very convincing win for the Green Party. Bear those things in mind. Right, so as I said, in alphabetical order. For anybody who's not familiar with Manchester or Greater Manchester, I'll try to loosely describe where these places are relative to the centre of Manchester, as it were, or within the Greater Manchester perimeter and boundaries. Okay. First up, Bolton, which is like northwest of Manchester. It's actually one of the biggest towns in the country and, in fact, Western Europe. But unfortunately, at the moment, kicking off with one that doesn't look too great, with Reform expected to just about come out on top. But this is the trend that you're going to see throughout pretty much all of these. Look at the drop in the Labour vote there. You can see above 20% again. We've been saying this week on other streams, a lot of polls, projections displaying Labour down over 20%. Certainly the vast majority of them excuse me, into double digits as well. But Reform, with a gain of 27.2, in this case would put them on 36.8%. But with the Greens in second, with an excellent gain as well of 14.8. So that's increasing the vote percentage very well. Tories down a few percent, so Lib Dem. A good chunk of others, I guess. You'd include independents in there. Seem to have lost the vote to the Greens and or Reform. Or Reform, not and or. So these polls took place this month, and it's compared to May of 2024. So some significant changes in the last couple of years there. So that's Bolton. I mean, come on, Bolton, you can do better than this. I do actually know a few Green Party members in Bolton as well. I know that they're great campaigners. Shout out if you're watching. So yeah, the public just need to get on board a bit more there. Let's go to Bury next. Bury. Which is geographically next to Bolton, kind of north Manchester. This one has Labour just about finishing up on top, even though they lose again double digits, 12.1%. They would finish in front of the Tories, with Reform in third. Quite surprising one there, with the Tories in second. An 8.8% gain for the Greens, which again is very significant, very considerable. So that could be no overall proper control, but Labour haven't quite tanked in Bury as much as in other places it had seen. Bit of an interesting one. But yes, again, we're seeing the so-called other candidates, that is independents, grassroots parties and whatnot, tanking very significantly. Minus 15.5. If anybody who's watching live in chats is from Greater Manchester, I'd like to know your thoughts on these. Let us know if we get to, excuse me, if we get to your council, what you think about the polling. Remember, these are polls, not projections, by the way. And at the end, I will go through the general whole of Greater Manchester as one big amalgamated poll. So Bolton and Bury seem to be lagging somewhat. Let's see what's happening right in the heart of the city, in City of Manchester, M1. And it's very close. It's very close. Look at this. Looks to be a two-horse race between Labour and the Greens. However, concerning trends, Labour on the wane again. This is the highest drop we've seen so far in going through these, 26.5% dip from Labour there, and a 9.6% gain for the Greens. Reform standing for the first time, but falling a little bit short of the 20% mark on 18.5, so that pretty much puts it as a two-horse race. But if that should be the result, it would be, again, no overall control. Sorry about my voice in nursing this brew. I'll top my drink up in a moment. So much information to share with you, though. So apologies if you can't read the smaller numbers on the bar charts there. I'll try and read out as many as I can. Hope you can make out the faded comparisons, of course, to May 2024 that you see next to the current polling. But every single one, it's been a disaster for Labour so far. Let's move over now to north east of Greater Manchester, the Oldham and Rochdale area, starting with Oldham. This one isn't particularly pretty, is it? So, 42.5% for Reform. That's pretty bad. Gain of 41.4. Let's hope this one is certainly inaccurate. They would absolutely swipe the seat from Labour. In second, the Greens again making a significant gain on 12.8 from a gain of 11.2. So that's from barely having any of the votes to 11.2. That's not bad, but certainly, unfortunately, doesn't look to be competing with Deform. In Oldham, now, I don't know if you recall, maybe about a year ago, a story that I shared with you on stream about a pub. I think it was in the Oldham area, Oldham Rochdale area. It made the local news. It was in the Manchester Evening News because apparently there was a party which commemorated what would have been a former German Chancellor, whose name I shan't utter's birthday. Yes, the square moustached one. And even went so far as to have a cake made out with the insignia of the fanatical fascistic political party which he was the leader of. Yeah. So no real surprise, if you'll excuse that small amount of judgment. So come on, Oldham. That's terrible. Really is bad. That is bad. We'll have to keep our left eye on that one and hope that it's swing and a miss from the pollsters. What about Rochdale, which is next to Oldham? Again, same sort of northeast side of Greater Manchester. It's a similar story, unfortunately, people. Although independents, others, grassroots parties in third in this case. Although they have lost 9.4, almost 10% of the vote, still in third. A huge gain for Reform here, 5.2% gain still for Rochdale. The Tories being the other party to miss out, as well as Lib Dems with a minus 7.6. So that would, of course, be overall control for both Oldham and Rochdale if those two turned out to be correct. Why? Now, not a million miles away from Gorton and Gorton and Denton's more south side, sort of southeast side. This is like northeast side. But I don't know. There are many areas of Greater Manchester which have suffered social deprivation over decades of both Tory and Labour governments. But in this case, it seems to have accumulated in a hub. It also depends on the amount of dissatisfaction with the incumbent council and which party they represent as well. There are many factors, but I won't give the full sort of sociology TED talk for each of these, because of course Greater Manchester's quite a big area. We still have a few to get through, plus more stories coming up, so we'll move on now. Again, back to the northwestish of Greater Manchester and Salford, which is a city in its own right, by the way, before anybody gets started. A bit of a closer affair again, a two-horse race with the Greens in it. Is this becoming a pattern? Every two-horse grey... There's always one every stream. Sentence fail. You can register this sentence fail at sentencefail.com. No, seriously though. Every two-horse race that we've seen in the polls so far has had the Greens in it as one of the two contenders. This time it's Reform. So 28.7 to Reform and 25.4 to the Greens, both making significant gains. In fact, Reform were on just 0.6% last time out. You can see their... well, you can't see the faded bit of the bar chart because it's that tiny, but excellent gain for the Greens. 13.2. Tories down, but look at this loss for Labour. That's the largest that we've seen so far. 41.4% drop to just 16.6%. So actually, with the literal majority in the council, over 50% previously. Now, Salford Council is in Rebecca Long Bailey's kind of stomping ground, Swinton and Salford. So a great amount of dissatisfaction there. The reason I brought up Rebecca Long Bailey, of course, she was suspended, had the whip removed very shortly after Keir Starmer became Labour Party leader for sharing a Guardian article written by Maxine Peake, which criticised Israel, basically. That's the reason why I cut up my membership card in the end. That's satisfied my reservations, unfortunately, about Keith Rodney Starmer. So just a bit more of a push needed for the Greens in Salford. Again, I do know Green campaigners in a lot of the areas mentioned as I'm going through this, including Salford. If I get some time myself, who knows, I might even go out and campaign myself. Because it definitely can't be Labour. You've definitely got to keep Reform out. And there only appears to be one party capable of that at the moment. And that's not just a rumour. We saw it in Gorton and Denton where hope beat hate. I'm not a member, but yeah, do really hope that the Greens see off Reform. Now again, before we get to comments, people in chats, Stockport next. Yes, it's technically in Cheshire. It's kind of, yeah. But it is counted here It's JL Partners, by the way, the pollster. Should have mentioned that significantly earlier. This one significantly more evenly spread, though it unfortunately does show Reform with a bit of a lead there over Lib Dem. Now, at a council level, we certainly haven't been seeing Lib Dems cropping up in second place much. In fact, they've dropped 11%, where Reform have gained 25.4%. Labour though, again there with a double-digit drop. Not the biggest that we've seen though, but still significant at 14.2%. We haven't seen a single one, I doubt that we will, where Labour have a plus next to it. It's the damage limitation elections as far as the Labour Party are concerned. That's the best that they can hope for, really. Like I said, there's been everything that's happened this week as well, the scandals and thing, the removal of the right to repeat protest. Oh, I almost forgot helping America with the war crimes. So much going on. Easy to forget. Could this one still be in Polanski's grasp? I'm not too certain about that one. 12.9 to 26.8 according to this. Still 3 weeks to go. You never know. So I've seen a few with Greens, a few with Reform. Tameside next. Another. Could you call this? You could maybe call this a 3-horse race. Possibly, technically. Well, yeah, 3 of the parties are in the 20s of percentage. Labour 21.2, the Greens 26.6, and Reform just slightly ahead with 29.8 on the first time of asking, the first time they've stood in Tameside Council. 9% gain for the Greens as well, minus 30.9 for Labour. You can see again there the comparisons to 24. Yep, collapsing all over the place. Were your party concerned? I'm not certain how many candidates they're putting up, to be honest. Plus there's this apparent split now. Scotland, England, etc. They don't really have a lot of representation, if any. As far as I know. But they will come into the other category at this point for any councillors that are trying to stand. Of course, there would be defectors in there. We've seen a lot of Labour to Green defections, for example, and you certainly can't rule out defectors from Labour to your party or wherever to your party, having previously been elected, so they will be defending their seats only this time, of course, coming under the other category. But it's hard to discern. From the ones that we've just been through, there was only one that had others in the top 3, and that was with the 9% loss, wasn't it? So that was was that in Salford? I think that was the Salford one. Can't remember. So many stats. There are just a couple to go here as we move from Tameside onto Trafford now. Which is a rarity, according to this, despite losing almost 10%, not in the first one we've seen where Labour don't have a double-digit loss. Apparently clinging on with 32.6% to the Tories with 23.1%. Greens losing 5% in Trafford. Interesting. 15.8% gain for Reform, who'd finish in 3rd. Also a gain for others, with 5.6. Lib Dem are down as well. So come on, Trafford. Need to get with the programme. Get with the Greens in the local elections. And I hope it'd be interesting to see how certain local unofficial coalitions might go ahead. Let's put it that way. Because I mean, in the ones we've seen, where it's a two-horse race between the Greens and Reform, that's certainly going to put the cat amongst the pigeons in the council debates, where you've pretty much got all the other parties in the vast minority and almost a 50-50 split between Greens and Reform, who have some obviously very opposing views. Remains to be seen. Just one left on the very, very outskirts in the far west, in the furthest west before you get into Lancashire proper, towards Preston, Lancashire, so on, Blackpool, and if you drive any further than that, you better be driving onto a ferry, because you'll be into the Irish Sea. Anyway, it's Wigan, who are dickheads. Reform again, sorted out. Wigan, 37%. Not as high as Alderman Rochdale, but still looks like a fairly convincing win for Reform there. Well, Labour on, again, having previously had over 50%, down 21.4% in second. So they were very fortunate to have such a huge lead, but even that lead has put them in second. I think that's the only one we've seen where they've lost over 20% and not been out of the top 3, whatever. 6.9 gain for Greens in Wigan. Or should we start a debate about whether Wigan's in Lancashire or Greater Manchester or Bolton? Perhaps not. So like I said, a mixed bag of individual results. I would really like to know what anybody who's watching who lives in those council areas what you think. Let us know in chat or in the comments if you watch it back later. I really would appreciate that. This is the overall view in Greater Manchester. But don't be alarmed. The Greens, like we saw there, could still be making some gains. You can see from the pie charts around each of the ones that we looked at there that the Greens still have a significant chunk of a lot of those pies. In fact, let's just do a very quick count up. Even if I'm being like pessimistic in terms of the Greens' chances here, you could say 1, 2, 3, at least 5 of those turquoise teal areas could turn green. So it's not as bad as it appears. But look at that right down the middle. Almost looking like a country in its own right. Or why don't we just snip that part out, the Labour part? But no, similar to the turquoise areas, there you can see I don't know how to describe it because you can't see my cursor. Within the strip, the bendy stripe strip of red, that is where Labour are projected to win. The second pie chart down still has a very significant portion of green, and in fact it looks to be about over 25%. So that's one of the 2 horse races, of course. So don't panic in just looking at this if you are a supporter of the Greens. And we'll have to wait to see if these turn out to be accurate. Some of these might actually even be selected for the hot seats. Of course, we're going to have some hot seats as we get closer to the locals in a few weeks' time. Mostly trying to select ones that look like 2 or 3 horse races at the moment, you know. Where no party, whether it's one that we back or we don't, has a clear lead. They're interesting and, you know, dramatic finish. So keep an eye out for those. More to come about that on the channel. That's more or less the overall look for Greater Manchester, where this live stream is coming to you from this evening. Sorry, just giggling to myself at the next item. We're more or less done with UK politics. I mean, I've only been going on about it for about an hour and 45 minutes. Let's talk about something else. This rich and varied stream. Over to the States in a moment. I'm just very quickly going to top my drink up because you might have noticed I'm getting a little bit raspy. Got a bit of the early morning Nick Robinson going on, as it were, people. And we can't have that, can we? I'll be back with you in one quick moment. Okay, first up. The first of a pair of embarrassing moments. We're going to start with Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Kill, 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 War, 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 whatever his official title is. Secretary of State for Kill, Kill, Kill. Appeared at a Christian event And of course, being really big on MAGA, he is of course a genuine, hardcore Christian, probably of the Protestant variety, or son of the exact denomination. People like Hegseth will shout from the rooftops, will have you think that America was founded by Christianity, which of course it wasn't, aside from the fact that it was stolen from the natives. Just on the theistic side of things, was actually founded by deists, however you'd prefer to pronounce it. That is, people who believe that Earth was created by a god, however, that god has ceased to have any influence over the planet or humanity, for example. Your prayers are unheard. There is no god judging, but they believe that was how the Earth was created, essentially. So that's wrong. But he's gone even further than that in this latest embarrassment. Most of you have probably seen this already, but just want to bring it up on stream. Now, Hegseth, during his speech, probably believed that he was quoting a passage from the Bible, but probably didn't do a great amount of research into it. Certainly didn't have a Bible to hand, but what he did have, of course, was his collection of Quentin Tarantino films. And thinking quick on his feet, or probably on his lazy boy, thinking slow on his lazy boy, he decided to have a look at Pulp Fiction, remembering a scene where Samuel L. Jackson's character supposedly quotes a few verses from the Bible before popping a cap in someone's ass. However, it's a bit of a movie trivia tidbit that said quote is actually not genuine. Ezekiel, whatever it's supposed to be, and was in fact written for the film by Quentin Tarantino and all the co-writers. So it's not genuine, and we're going to see the clip here now, because I actually think that one or two of the people, the genuine practicing Christians in the audience, seem to catch on to this, because, let's be honest people, no pun intended, speaking as an atheist myself, although someone who was brought up within C of E, sorry, I nearly lost my point there. A lot of the people who'd be at this conference, being of course enthusiasts of Christianity, practitioners of Christianity, would know it chapter and verse. Again, no pun intended. So they would know if you were misquoting something, or perhaps just making something up on the spot, or stealing it from a fucking Hollywood film in this case. It would have been even better if it would have just been something that he'd made up that he thought sounded pretty righteous or whatnot, or sanctimonious, than oh, sorry. Just thinking of all the memes. There have been a few memes going around about this. But let's see the original thing.
So the prayer is Caesar 25:17, and it reads, and pray with me, please.
25:17. And pray with me, please. Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker.
The path of the downed aviator is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men.
In verbatim.
Blessed is he who, in the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to capture and destroy my brother. And you will know my call sign is Sandy 1 when I lay my vengeance.
The kids are getting upset because this is scary. Why does he sound like he's about to blow us away? Well, this is America, kids. It's a good freeze frame of Samuel L. Jackson's character there. Jules, is it? And was that Travolta's? Yeah, because yeah, Jules. So even in the context of the very words themselves, they're not exactly soothing, are they? They're not exactly. I don't know what the context of the entire speech was supposed to be, or the mood, or the vibe that Hegseth's trying to create with this. If I just skip back, you just pay attention to the actual words. You know, if you're familiar with the film, if you're familiar with the scene.
Attempt to destroy my brother. And you will know my call sign is Sandy 1 when I lay my vengeance upon them.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance.
I need to get that off the screen because it's, yeah, before it does a bad thing that you definitely shouldn't put on a live stream. I'm speechless, people. It would have been good if he had said motherfucker. Comrie. Pray with me. Not defending him, but maybe his assistant just handed it to him at the last minute and, I don't know, quick Bible verse. Oh, sorry, just had another one. Another enduring image there of Hegseth at the lectern. Pray with me. Pray with me, people, now. Lower your gaze and pray. Does he look like a bitch? Does he look like a bitch? Say what? Say what again? You won't put it past him. But that might actually not actually be. You won't believe this, because I had to verify this myself. You won't believe that that might not be the most embarrassing thing that someone from MAGA has done within the last couple of days. When you see this from Steve Bannon. No, fucking hell. This is real. Before, which order shall I do this in? I'm going to go picture first, and then confirmatory video. And the reason that you know it's confirmatory is because Bannon uploaded it himself, basically, to one of his own social media accounts. and he certainly didn't doctor it himself, did he? And you wouldn't doctor a video to make it look as though you'd done this. Unless you wanted to do significant damage to your image and potentially, hopefully, political career. Now, it's been... it's certainly been rumoured before, and I guess legally have to say allegedly, that Steve Bannon, let's say, might have had a bit of a dabble with certain substances, recreational substances, during his life, during his time as a politician. Certain repeated and extreme use of such substances can result in certain effects on one's internal organs, shall we say, to the effect that one can lose control of certain bodily functions, if I might put it in such terms. Long story short, or in layman's terms, he's gone and fucking pissed himself on stage at some right-wing twatty event or other. Scene for World Economy fucking Forum, whatever this fucking is. Semaphore, that's the flag communication system. World Economy. And I never thought I would have to say the following sentence, not just on a live stream, but within my existence, within my life, but I would... I can't even bring myself to say it. To encourage you to draw your attention... Yeah, I'm going to have to say it. Encourage you to draw your attention to Steve Bannon's crotch. Yes, that's a sentence. That was a thing. Because he seems to have... I'd say seems to. He has. He's done a whoopsie. He's done a whoopsie, nurse. Yeah. Whatever the fuck, you know, these far-right clowns are on, seems to have done quite a bit of damage, as you can see there. So that is Steve Bannon, yes, swimming in his own effluence. They're live on stage at the Semaphore World Economy, and this isn't shadows, this isn't AI, because
your fans are here.
Here's the video. This is the video, and again, I would... I'm not going to beg. If you want to know what I'm talking about, again, please pay attention to Steve Bannon's crotch. Please don't demonetize this stream.
Thank you, sir.
I want to thank my agent.
Do you want to thank your agent? Fucking hell. Have you got an ostomist? Or a fucking urologist?
So, I was just thinking...
It's there. And that's not a shadow, that's not like someone's arm. It moves with the fabric of his grey pants, trousers. He's just pissed himself before he comes on and sits down anyway. Open-legged. He's probably so fucked up on whatever the fuck he's fucked up on that he can't feel his body below the waist. He doesn't even know that he's pissed his pants, in all likelihood.
Ago, talking about the administration. Your fans are here, or one of them. Thank you, sir.
I want to thank my agent.
So I was just thinking, we were here a year ago, talking about the administration. Your fans.
Yeah. He's not taking the piss, he's taking a piss. So which is worse? Hegseth or Bannon? For onstage fuck-ups. if during the stream, let's say aliens land down and land in the room here and ask me about the state of political affairs on Earth in 2026, all I have to say to them is that we're asking if someone pissing themselves on stage isn't actually the most embarrassing thing that's happened to a right-wing American politician this week. Even removing Donald Trump from the entire scenario. Yes. So is it this, or was it Hegseth's Pulp Fiction Bible mishap? What do you think? Yeah, they're both real. They are both real. I assure you. It was grokked multiple times on social media, as well as from a source I got. And as I mentioned, this video itself.
Your fans are here.
So this is the one that's been going around.
I want to thank.
I'm going to just go to the start again and play without interruption. So this is comparing what's been uploaded as the first sort of expose of this, and referring to him pissing himself, and then you're going to see the original, and they're exactly the same.
Your fans are here, or one of them. Thank you, sir.
I want to thank my agent.
So I was just thinking, we were here a year ago talking about the administration. Your fans are here, or one of them.
This is the original.
I want to thank my agent.
So I was just thinking, we
exactly
were
the
here
same.
a year ago talking about the administration. Your fans are here.
And I could upload them into editing software and play them side by side, but I'm not going to on the stream, aside from the fact that it might crash some of the fairly basic tech. Although we are making little upgrades all the time. Which is worse? Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching back later.
Your fans.
Leave that one there for now. My goodness, it's gone midnight, which means it's now only 2 weeks and 5 days to the local elections. I was going to look into Iran. It's pretty simple, really. Trump thinks that he's got the Strait of Hormuz reopened, even though it wasn't really shut before. He also thinks that he has ended a war, 9th or 10th war, of course, which he hasn't. That's more or less it as we're going to the weekend. Remains to be seen if any supposed ceasefire will be held or can last. Now, pertaining to what I just said about Trump's repeated claims to have ended multiple wars, some of which are just the cessation of attacks which he himself has instigated, of course. Just reminded me, something we actually posted, I think, yes, was it yesterday, Phil? Yes, yesterday. And it would almost be like during the Second World War when things came to a conclusion in Europe, in the bunker in Germany, when former German Chancellor, whose name I won't repeat on the streams, lackeys went into a certain room and found his body there next to his wife, Eva Braun's, wife of One Day, Ava Brown's. Apparently there was a little note, and it said, "I've ended the biggest war in history, everybody says it." Not a lot of people know that. It's true. No, it's not really, but it's almost the same thing, really, isn't it? Everybody says it. But we will be getting into something else concerning the Middle East. To share this video with you surrounding Palestine. Well, the IDF's general war crimes, I guess. Because an IDF member was spotted on holiday in Vietnam, apparently, identified from a tattoo, I think it was, or something. And met with a supporter that is not arranged to meet, just happened, you know, their paths happened to cross. And of course the Palestine supporter took great exception to this IDF member and did a good job in giving out to them in public. So let's see what's happening here as this fascist gets a verbal drubbing from this well-informed lady.
You're from Palestine? Sorry? It's difficult?
I don't think they're from Palestine.
You're not from Palestine? I thought because you had the tattoo that you were from Palestine. So you're from Palestine. You speak Arabic? Sorry? Oh, right, you're Israeli. Ah, right. Right. Fake state of Israel.
It doesn't exist. Israel doesn't exist.
So did you join
the... Were you part of the IDF, IOF? Were you part of the IOF, IDF? Were you part of it? Did you kill innocent civilians? Did you kill innocent women and children? Did you murder them? Did you murder them? I don't care. Did you kill innocent? Were you part of the IDF? Did you kill innocent civilians in Palestine? Did you? I don't care. You're murderers. You're murderers.
You're monsters.
I didn't murder anyone. Were you part of the IDF? Well, everyone is part of the IDF. So then you're a murderer. You're a murderer.
Yeah, you can refuse to be in the IDF. You can refuse it.
I want to eat my horrible people.
Well, we want to save humanity. We don't want to
happen in Palestine.
Yeah. Shameful.
How can you eat vegan food, not supporting this murder of animals? No.
Yeah, they're vegans. The vegan IDF. Can you believe that?
You don't support the murder of animals. It does. I'm explaining myself to you. You don't support the murder of animals. I don't want you to talk about.
And this lady sounds like she's not from too far away from where this broadcast, this live stream is coming to you from this evening as well. So yeah, represent. More power to her. Just noticed that as well. The accent. She's definitely from the north.
I'm stupid because I don't know.
No, they need to shut up. Because they're murderers. They murder children. They're part of the occupation. They're part of Israel. They're part of the occupation. You need to see out. Shameful. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're monsters. You're savage. You're savages. You're monsters. You're monsters. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Do you know about Tom Hunter? Do you know about Tom Hunter? The British journalist, 23-year-old? You shot him in the head. You killed him. Do you know about Rachel Corrie?
She's not come to this argument unprepared, has she? She's got a lot of ammo to throw as well. Doing a really good job.
You know, but you bulldozed Rachel Corrie and killed a young lady from America? You're a shameful nation. You're shameful.
Murderers. Oh, now they're going to cry. I didn't have my
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh dear, victim. Because we're just goyim, aren't we? We're just goyim. We're just worthless animals. Shameful. Viva Iran.
Boom, boom, Tel Aviv. This is what you get
for all your evil.
And then they start singing Boom Boom Tel Aviv.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
What I think is ridiculous is that having war crimes, that you're in the IDF, dude, actively carrying out war crimes, and when that's put to you, we're expected to feel sorry for you because that makes you feel uncomfortable, because having the truth of what you do laid bare in front of you and to be rightly judged as a war criminal and a murderer, it makes you feel uncomfortable, and somehow you're victimised by that, as opposed to, you know, the people who you war crime in the face. That's what's ridiculous, and I'm not too certain what the tattoo is all about. But to proudly, if it is proudly displaying that he's with the IDF, I think that's ridiculous. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's the same as having a tattoo with a different logo, which is appropriated from Hindu culture, white, red and black logo. You know the one I'm talking about. It's the same thing, because it's the same crime. It's genocide.
Killing children is ridiculous. Killing children is ridiculous. Do you oppose genocide? Do you oppose it? Say you oppose it. Say you're against Netanyahu. Say you're against Netanyahu. What about Ben Gvir?
Okay, we got the opinion, okay? Now can you shut the fuck up?
No, don't you dare tell us to shut the fuck up. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You are a shame. You are a monster.
Can't we eat our vegan food whilst contemplating our war crimes in peace? But beyond that as well, not a sort of an ounce of sympathy, or no, or we do actually. They're not even pretending to feel sorry for the Palestinians, which is a giveaway in itself as well, an admission, as it were. To go beyond that and then, just shut the fuck up, is all that they can come back with. Because that's what Zionism, I think, does to people. It turns them into nasty people. You're not just people who either carry out or support a genocide. But it's just a nasty ideology, a hate-based ideology, an oppressive ideology that also has an exceptionalist mindset as well, which is a very bad combination and leads to attitudes like this, where the lady there on the left pretended to cry, not for Palestinians, not for children like Hindra Jab, for example. No, for herself. Trying to eat my vegan food in peace while I contemplate my what? I'm not knocking vegans, by the way. Obviously not. Of course. Just the scenario. Ludicrous. This is the real world, not the Zionist bubble. Yeah. As soon as we've seen other behaviour where once they step out of Israel, start to act up in other places, they soon get what's coming to them. They don't get the criticism that's lacking in their own country. Sorry, they do get the criticism that's lacking in their own country as well. And it's a bit of a shock to the system for them. But all that they can do is expose the nasty attitude that they always have, because that is Zionism, that's fascism. The bare elements of which are a sense of superiority, and that other, non-Zionists and certainly Muslims are probably the people who Zionists consider the biggest enemy, of course. They consider to not even be human beings at all. It's absolutely revolting. But it is that attitude that is inhuman. It is certainly inhumane.
You're monsters. You're savages. You're monsters. Yeah. Shameful. No. Yeah. Go. Get lost.
Run away. Like the Palestinians run to try and live every day.
Well, now the Israelis are getting bombed.
I hope Israel falls.
Everywhere you go, you are going to be hated. Everywhere you go, you are hated. Nobody likes you. Nobody. Go on. Go away.
Kick them out of all countries.
Go.
Kick them out of all countries.
110 countries you've been thrown out. 110 countries. Yeah, we feel good. Yeah.
You feel amazing?
They're killing children.
Civilians?
Shameful.
Do you feel good?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying mine as well. Unfortunately, you guys
Shameful.
are everywhere.
Absolute disgrace. You're a disgrace.
Murderer.
Go on, look at them. Look at the rats running away. Go on.
Sorry.
Go on, rats. Murderers. Savage.
And off they go. Scuttle away there. Just have a look in chat. Davinia, I think, it is important to discern between Judaism and Zionism. Especially, I have a lot of Jewish friends. Don't have a single Zionist friend. But Zionists certainly do see non-Zionists. They would appropriate Judaism and say non-Jews, but what they really mean is non-Zionists, of course. There is the dehumanization, as mentioned. Sickening ideology. But they got what was coming to them. So thanks to Parody Jeff for providing that clip. Unfortunately, I can't give credit to those. It sounded just like 2, possibly 3 ladies there giving what for to a member of the IDF. Just trying to enjoy some food and contemplate his war crimes whilst on holiday. That was in Vietnam. Not certain if I mentioned it was in Vietnam at the top of the clip. Well done. I just have time to mention this as well. Concerning some friends of mine, let's finish on a high. We've got some good news here, people. Well, it was good to see Zionists getting what for. Concerning another topic, though, that is the climate crisis, climate protest. Regular viewers will know that a political and environmental campaigner and activist as well. Some friends of mine have been on trial by jury, which is, of course, fundamentally important as a citizen's right. And it's a not guilty verdict, which is excellent news. So it's the second ever Section 7 jury trial. And despite not being allowed legal defences, yes, you heard that correct, this is in Britain in the 2020s. Not only do we have trials where climate protesters can't mention the climate crisis, we also have trials where they're not allowed legal defence. Despite this, a jury of 12 people, good and true, found them not guilty. Take that, David Lammy. This is why we need to defend the right to a jury, which the government are trying to take away. So well done to some of my friends there. That's an excellent result. Really is an excellent result. And also, speaking of which, the slow marches themselves took place in spring of 2024. That is just about where we got up to in our members only videos in the series of my Just Stop Oil journey. Owing to the fact that a lot of the footage that I took at the time was misplaced, I obviously didn't anticipate setting up this channel in the future and requiring it for those purposes. A lot of the footage had me in it. This is a faceless channel and so on, but I have actually come across further cache of videos and pictures and stuff, so going to be continuing to get that series together. Apologies for the delay in this series, but we're going to be back on it now, finally. So yeah, the slow marches, for anybody who's not familiar, a very small number of people would line up across the road with placards and walk tremendously slowly, just literally, you know, a foot's length in front of the other. It was a new approach compared to previous roadblock techniques with gluing on, lock-ons to carabiners, that sort of thing. And yeah, people were still arrested, of course. This was around the time where groups like Just Stop Oil, as many protest groups still are having to work around the government and legislation against protest. Need I mention again, just in case you weren't aware, people, if you joined us late on stream and weren't aware, the right to repeat protest was taken away from us this week by Starmer and his Labour government. Unbelievable. It's effectively trying to shut down every organisation, anything that has a name to it, whether it be Just Stop Oil, Defend Our Juries, Take Back Power. You could name so many, you know, Extinction Rebellion would come under that description. Very draconian, very draconian. Alright, so well done. Sorry, let's not hang around on the negative ground, as it were, people, with the doom and gloom over legislation. Let us just finish by celebrating this result and saying well done once again. If you're watching, I won't name names. Good friends of mine. Speaking of good people, every single one of the names you can see on your screen right now comes in to that category. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for the gifted memberships on tonight's stream as well. That's been excellent. Look forward to updating the total before we're back on Sunday. But however you choose to support the stream, whether it's with gifted membership, super chat, super stickers, super thanks, or the Buy Me a Coffee page, we do really appreciate it. And you can add your name to this list of mighty marvellous members for just 99 pence. So hit the join button to find out more about the perks, including members only content, as I was just describing a few months ago. Definitely worth it. Fraction of the price of a tasty hot beverage to become a member of the Brew crew. Good advice in the chat as well. Do hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done so far on stream. Lots going on this weekend in terms of protest as well. Anti-fascist marches and so on. Going to be featuring on the Sunday live stream, so hit that notification button. Make sure that you don't miss out.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
So I will be calling it a night for this stream, people. I'm just having a gander at who we could stream into, raid into, that is. Whilst I'm doing that, thanks again for being cordial in the chat, everybody. Always do appreciate that. Nothing really going on, so it'll just be a raid for what it's worth into the Al Jazeera live feed. Though, like I said earlier on stream, can recommend if you want a full analysis of Question Time, check out No Justice and Kevin Logan. Awesome stuff. So have yourselves a fantastic weekend, people, whatever you decide to do. Aaron Gray has decided to send us a super chat right at the end there. Thank you very much for that one. Yeah, big up the Greens and vote independently if the Greens aren't in your area, although they are in well over 90% of the seats. But yeah, big up, big up. Thanks again for that, Aaron. Let's big up Aaron in the chats as we call it a night. Yeah, have a great time, whatever you're doing. I've been your humble host, Lefty. This has been the Brews at 10 on my left eye. Power to the people, pre-Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan and Yemen. Don't let the bastards grind you down, don't watch the news, be the news, and my left eye, I'll be seeing you soon. Good night.
Right, off you go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
That's easy!
The door is open. and you can leave.
It's what Hitler and Goering did, and it is textbook. And if you think the next time it happens, we're gonna recognize it because they're wearing scary uniforms, you're out of your damn mind.